Hello everybody and welcome to the Sonic Boom Commentaries, our last commentary for Season 1. It's episode 52, we're coming to an end, and not only that, it's Christmas! Yay! Actually,
it's not really Christmas, but we're pretending it is, okay?
Yeah. Kat, it's the magic of Christmas. I know it's a week to go from our point of view, but as far as the people listening to this are concerned, it's Christmas, unless they're listening / watching this after Christmas, in which case pretend it's Christmas and then everything will be fine.
It's Boomus.
It's always Christmas. It's Christmas every single day.
You must keep Christmas in your heart.
But have an extreme Christmas every day of your life, or something to that effect.
You keep Christmas in your heart and in your sports tape.
Kat mentions that because we actually did a commentary on Sonic Christmas Blast the other day, which hasn't gone out yet.
Yep.
It may never do. for all the good it was. But yes, it's me, Kevin. I'm joined by my usual partners in crime. We have a cat who is decorated with tinsel.
Oh.
And we have Donnie, the red-bearded commentator.
The Donnie, the red-nosed rain-don, I guess? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't think anyone would want to see that, though.
No, not really, probably not. But
foggy Christmas Eve, Tristan came to say.
Donnie, write an article. Seriously, there's no one else. So, but we are not alone. For there is somebody else in the room.
Oh.
Quick, call the police. No, we've got BILL FREIBERGER here, everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy to you, sir. Thank you very much for coming back and joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
Excellent. So, it's been a while. So how have you been?
I've been good. How have you guys been?
Doing good.
It's been a difficult year.
It's been a long few months, but you've been out and about enjoying yourself, haven't you?
I have indeed. I've been here and there and just having a good old time.
The longest Oktoberfest in recorded history, I think.
Well, here in Los Angeles, it's Oktoberfest is 6 weeks long, so I get to enjoy it for the entire season, every weekend.
That was what was confusing us a little bit.
Why is Oktoberfest longer than October?
Well, the actual Oktoberfest starts in September, and it only goes into the first weekend of October. But the companies, that's a big festival that has a lot going on. Here in Los Angeles and in many other places, they just start it early in September and take it all the way through October because they have smaller tents and smaller situations, and they want to be able to get as many people in there as they can for the festivities.
We actually thought that it was like some kind of travelling Oktoberfest fair, and you were going round with it at one point. It was...
No. It's they have it for 6 weeks. I have a good time at Oktoberfest.
It goes on for 6 weeks, 4 of which are hangover. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, we can make it sound like you're this terrible lush. But you were out the other day, actually, weren't you, with Mike?
Yes, Mike and I did a fan convention, a comic book convention in Boston, and one of the reasons I wanted to go to Boston was so I could get to the Sam Adams Brewery, because Sam Adams is my favorite beer. So Mike and I took the brewery tour, and then we went to they had a tasting at Sam Adams, and then we went to a local pub and tried some beer that you could only get in Boston. I've been unable to drink here in LA, so I got to try this beer that I normally can't try.
Did you consider going to the Cheers bar?
I did. Basically we were there for the convention, and I only had one free day. The convention was Saturday and Sunday, and I was flying out Monday night. And once I went to Sam Adams, I didn't have a lot of time to do other stuff before I had to go to the airport. So I chose to just do the Sam Adams related stuff.
Lovely. And you also had, I believe, a very large Thanksgiving.
Yes, we had 44 people here for Thanksgiving.
How do you even do that? That's huge.
It's huge. We our policy is anyone who lives in the area that knows us or knows someone who knows us or tangentially knows us and doesn't have a place to go is welcome. So every year it builds and builds and builds, and I do all the cooking. Some people bring side dishes or some people bring desserts, but I cook all the main courses in the days leading up to Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Mm.
Fantastic. So everyone round to Bill's next year.
Yeah, it's if you're in the neighborhood. I had on Facebook.
Coincidentally, I'll probably be in the neighborhood.
Well, if you're in the neighborhood, you'll be welcome. Everyone
Yeah.
is. Someone posted on Facebook, a writer who I didn't know. I'd met him once at Comic-Con, and he posted, "My plans fell through. I don't have a place to go." And Jim Krieg, who's also an animation writer, said, "You should go to Bill Freiberger's." Next thing you know, I have another guest.
Were any of the Boom team there?
Alan Denton and his wife and Greg Hahn and his girlfriend were there. Sam, my son, who's on the team, he's the one of the writers and the editor. He was there. I'm trying to, and there were a couple of other Boom related people there.
Hey,
Nice.
glad to see. Fantastic.
Aw.
Fantastic thing going on. Also, actually, since we mentioned Alan, a very happy birthday to Alan. Who's
Yes,
had
it was his
earlier
birthday.
this week.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Alan is younger than me, which made me feel incredibly old.
Oh.
And even worse, Greg Hahn doesn't know what scrumping is.
He's not the only one.
Do you scrumping is the practice of essentially helping yourself to apples or fruit that may not necessarily be your own.
Oh.
So it's the sort of the old film and TV stereotype of kids going to the old man's backyard and stealing all the apples is scrumping.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had when I lived in Studio City, we had a huge orange tree and a huge lemon tree, and it was right on the front, in front of the house. And people used to take the lemons and oranges all the time. So, I guess I've been scrumped.
Well, if they were yours, then yes.
Yes, they were mine.
Yes, I guess so.
They were in front of my house.
Hey.
I wished Alan a happy birthday, and his reply was "Shut up, Donnie." So I feel truly honored.
Yeah, he's very clever.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, shouldn't we have Alan and Greg's birthdays at the same time?
Like, is there a team?
Yeah, we should definitely do that. I think.
Well, if they're identical,
Unify
then
the-
I don't need two of them.
We were convinced they were convinced they were the same person at one point.
Oh, just a trick to get
It's a
more
trick of
money
the
out of
light.
me?
Actually, there's a good point.
It's probably somewhere on Styx's conspiracy board.
It is on Six's conspiracy board.
But they are the Dentan,
The-
which is some kind of Doctor Who monster, I'm pretty sure.
If you saw the Styx picture, listeners, if you saw the Styx picture that Kat did during the run of the series, look at the conspiracies, because one of them does relate to Alan and Greg. In fact, one of them relates to Bill,
Ooh.
as I recall.
I forget which one that is. Give me a...
You totally don't forget which one.
No, I really have. Let me find...
I think it was "Is Bill Evil?" wasn't it?
Possibly. My apologies, sir.
As the person in charge of all these misdemeanors and happenings that's going on. Okay, so with all that said, no, speaking of the writers, then if we will have to ask the first question, which is a very, very serious one. And if we didn't ask it after all these weeks, I think our regular listeners would be very upset with us.
Oh my.
Our favourite writer, Bill, where is he?
Who? I don't know what you're talking
Where
about.
have you stashed him?
I don't know what you're asking me.
I think...
Where is Reed Harrison?
He's in France. He's in Paris.
Oh, that's where he is.
Yeah.
See,
Where should he be?
We don't know.
Well, that's the thing. We've been trying to find out.
Find Reed Harrison.
We've honestly been trying to find out where Reed is, but he like wherever he moves through the world, he leaves no trace of himself.
He appears to
Really?
be one of those people who has very little social media stuff.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And as a result, I mean, everyone was looking to find out what was going on, because all we've had for a period of time, because of the way things went, was just this string of Reed Harrison episodes, which was sort of building up. And we couldn't find any information about the guy.
Well, no, Reed's been around for a long time. He's a seasoned writer, and he started out as a stand-up comic, and he and I have worked together on a number of shows. And he moved to France and was quite busy, and then became available at a certain point. And because I had such a, I had a relationship with him that went back years and years and years, we were able to work together very easily. And once he became available, I started giving him a lot of scripts.
That's why.
Also, Kevin was right that it was in fact Bill is Evil written in huge lettering. I'm sorry.
It's a conspiracy theory. That means it's not real. Don't worry. But no, so that explains it, because everyone was just puzzled. I think because there was such a prolific writer. Then obviously we didn't know what was going on. So if you guessed that, people who are playing the guessing game at home, well done. You win a prize. Please email Donnie for your prize.
Well,
your prize is actually a hug from Donnie.
Yeah.
Delivered personally.
Oh, okay.
You're very tall, so you'll be able to do it.
I can do it through my computer screen, I guess, or through the email.
No, I said in person. It's a real hug.
How would I be able to do that, though? What if they're like on the
I
other?
think you're thinking this
Donnie,
through
you're
too
magical.
hard, Donnie.
What does being medical have to do with anything?
I'm pretty sure magical.
Oh, you said
Not
magic.
medical. Magical.
My point's still planned. What does that have to do with anything?
Moving on. Right. So that's that mystery solved. Everybody, you can relax. It being Christmas, Donnie, what did you get for Christmas, Donnie?
I got an Eggman plushie. That's what I got for Christmas.
Which is actually true. Me and Kat bought him one of the big-headed Eggman plushies, which ties in almost as if it was planned, because Tomy have revealed for Sonic's anniversary, the upcoming 25th, an array of new things, which do include a bunch of new Sonic Boom toys. These include Tails in his plane, new long-armed plush versions for Sonic, Shadow, Metal Sonic, and also for Sticks. The big head plushies, which I saw Mike Pollock had one of those the other day.
Yep.
But there are ones coming for Amy, for Metal Sonic, Sticks, and also Orbot and Cubot.
Orbot and Cubot?
Or there's going to be a sort of big-headed plush version of Orbot and Cubot.
This is good.
I know.
This
We
is
need
very
more
good.
Orbot and Cubot merchandise.
This is very, very good.
We thought you might. I thought you might like that. There's also a very bizarre remote control Sonic on the. It looks like a jet-powered skateboard, and it's supposed to be it's supposed to be the not an extreme gear that we see in the series, but.
To be honest, the extreme gear is not a hoverboard, so I think we can.
It's not a lot of things. But there's that, and it's got by the looks of things, it's got some sort of weird magnetic component with Sonic's hands that allows him to do a handstand on the board or break dance on the board. It's overly complicated.
That sounds really neat. It's probably not going to work very well.
I'll actually, if I put the
So,
link in the chat if
show
you
me
guys
the
want to have a look at the pictures and things. So this is on via Sonic Stadium, incidentally.
Yeah.
Other things coming away is, I mean, we've seen some of these before. The various vehicles for Knuckles and Eggman and Sonic, and vinyl figures.
I really like his sunglasses.
It is quite something, isn't it?
I really like his sunglasses. They kind of look like his Sonic Riders 2 sunglasses, actually.
Actually, they look like he's stolen them off Beat from Jet Set Radio.
Unsurprisingly, they do not fit. He needs more sunglasses.
And then we've also got the various figures, and you can get Eggman, Shadow, Sonic, Metal Sonic, a different Sonic who has the sunglasses on, and also a pack with Sonic with the sunglasses, a Motorbug, and a Crab Meat. Both of which are specifically called that, by the way, which is interesting. Although,
yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised because we don't call them crab meat on the show.
Yeah, this is what surprised me, and it is specifically Boom branded.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that'll change. Maybe that might just be for the literature.
Quite possibly, yeah.
It'll change when it comes out because it's just, or I could see where there'd be a little bit of confusion because of the differences. I mean, there's always subtle difference between us and the modern Sonic canon. So. Yeah. Maybe no one has ever seen it in writing over at Tomy. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be corrected or not. You know,
because the interesting thing is that there's also sort of these 2 packs which I believe are already on sale. In fact, he mentions it, that they're a bestseller. And one of the packs is specifically Knuckles and Bebop. So in that instance, it is correct for Boom. So I don't know what's going on there.
Sonic
also,
dirty and Knuckles bruised.
Yeah,
That's an odd
there's a
fanfic.
weird thing going on. It's a bit like the original Ford. You can have any pack you like as long as it's got Sonic in it.
Or except for the one pack that has Knuckles and the Bebop.
Yeah, and which is so there's so you can get, so you'll be able to get if you can't already, Sonic and Amy, Sonic and Tails. Tails for some reason is not available normally, and only exists covered head to toe in oil.
Like the motor oil. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, no.
I know. I already said I made ideas happen by saying Sonic dirty and Knuckles bruised. But that's what it actually says.
Covered in engine debris. Which is kind of weird, frankly.
Well, I think all the toys from the first release are still out there. So there is a Tails figure. But these are all the new stuff for the new season. So this is a Sonic and Amy pack, a Sonic and Tails that covered in grease, and a Sonic and Sticks, which didn't exist before. But the individual packs should still be out there, the individual figures and what have you.
The Sticks is different as well, actually.
The
Sticks is the Sticks from the last episode. Not episode from episode 50.
Right.
Because it sticks with her sort of green war paint on.
Right. That's why this is all the new stuff. The old stuff should still exist.
That's true. I think we saw bruised Knuckles, beaten black and blue Knuckles. We saw a while back on one of the trade shows, I think. Missing from there is the alternate universe Eggman, the green Eggman, who we saw previously, and he isn't listed here. But there's a Metal Sonic there now, and you can get Metal Sonic and Eggman.
Sonic and Shadow are listed twice.
That is
because they're in different
true.
achievements.
That's probably just a mistake. But hey, yeah, lots of stuff going on in Sonic Boom coming next year, certainly.
It's definitely.
There's been all sorts of stuff coming out during the year.
Yeah, the merchandise has been really selling.
Including, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, which is the Sonic Boom Monopoly set.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were planning on that.
Yeah, it's well worth getting it, guys, because it's probably, if it's anything like the other Sonic set that they did, is going to be pretty limited in terms of numbers, and frankly, within about 3 months, it's going to be 3 figures to actually get hold of a board game set.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the actual Sonic Monopoly set goes for well over £100.
Oh.
I'm sure that's not the Monopoly they had in mind, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit different. A little bit different. So that's that going on. So lots of stuff going, coming up from Tomy and other things for the 25th anniversary, but very specifically a lot of Boom stuff. There's been things coming all the way through the year. It's odd to think in a way that Boom's now been going for over a year since its launch as a TV series. Anyway.
Yep. And I was actually able to find the ratings data for every single episode.
Oh God.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think that was possible, considering it seemed like some ratings data was lost. But as it turned out, there was ratings data released for every single week of Sonic Boom's season, including hiatuses. So
Nice.
Mm.
matter of fact, I can look it up right now, the article that was written, because boy was that a long that was a long article I had to write up. That table.
I'm not surprised. While you're looking that up, Kat, what did you get for Christmas?
Well, I thought we established at like the very beginning, calling it's not actually Christmas yet, so I don't know.
Play along, Kat, for God's sake.
No. Okay,
get a
I
Sonic
got the
Boom-
Sonic Boom DVD.
There we go.
You gave me a Sonic Boom DVD.
Yes, because Sonic Boom DVDs are coming to the UK. And they're not coming anywhere else. We're keeping them all.
This seems fair.
This seems fair. Turnabout is fair play. We're going to keep them all, and America's not going to hear about anything about them for 6 months.
It's a volume 1, and it's the first 13 episodes, which coincidentally I think is the number of episodes that Cartoon Network are actually airing.
Well,
What in the UK? That's a good point, because there is only that amount of episodes, isn't there?
yeah, I don't think they've actually aired that many episodes in the UK.
Yeah, that's okay. We're still waiting to be told it's actually where it is. So, I mean, dear. But yeah, we're getting the UK's getting a Volume 1 DVD. So it's being split up into 4 volumes. Not ideal. I think that's the thing that we really didn't want to happen, just because of.
Well, if the show hasn't aired in its
Historically.
entirety in the UK, then this is a bit too early for a full release.
Yeah. And my understanding, and this is not based on anything from the show, but just generally how these things work, it's my understanding that primetime shows for adults are coming out in season sets in general, and kids' cartoons tend to come out in smaller packages, I think, to make them cheaper, and because kids will pop one in, or the parents will pop one in and watch it over and over. And the necessity from a collector standpoint to have the full season is not as important. And this has nothing to do with Sonic Boom. This is just my understanding of the general way in which this works.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
pretty accurate. You have to be a cartoon that suddenly gets a really big adult fan base, or was already aiming for a huge story arc, in order for it to get a box set release.
Right.
If we give some contemporaries, because we've compared to Dragons on occasions throughout the commentaries. Dragons is split per season over 2 DVDs. I think the only thing that the reason why we've been slightly concerned about them doing that. I mean, I think we always thought that they would do that. It's just that historically, Sonic as a series, and lots of cartoons like this, at least within the UK, that they do this, the volumes, and then it's either it's incomplete, or it ends up missing a DVD entirely. And the reason why is because, specifically with Sonic, it's got that more older audience, and those guys will want to wait and hold on for a complete set, or a complete deep Blu-ray set in this instance, probably. And as a result, you get the knock-on effect of those people not buying the individuals, and then those don't do as well, and then we've seen this with other series as well, in that the manufacturers then go, oh well, we'll drop that then. So that's, that's I think the worry, and it's not just us. We've seen others sort of go about that, but yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's 13 episodes though, so that's a good amount. Long gone are the days of your 3 episodes on the VHS for a TV series.
Sometimes less than that.
Sometimes less than that, yeah.
I have the first 2 Sonic X DVDs, which is only 2 episodes on each DVD.
Yeah, that's Sonic X.
That's an explicitly terrible release.
Sonic X is a great example of that. I mean, what was it, like 4 volumes in the end? The last 2 of which you couldn't find for love nor money. And it's never had a complete set because it was deemed to not be financially successful, but everyone was holding out for the complete set. So hopefully everything will go smoothly. Obviously, there's only the UK. It's only Volume 1 at the moment. Lots of further news probably coming down the line as things go. But it's looking pretty. It's a nice set. If it's 13 episodes, that means we are going to have 4 volumes. Because mathematics. And that then means community, here's the question for you. Which character misses out on the cover? Which of the 5? Which set of the fan base is going to get really upset because their character is missing?
Fastidious Beavers.
Oh yes, well that's obvious.
We're sorry, Fastidious Beaver fans. He's just not cover material.
I'm willing to bet it's only.
I do have the ratings data chart up, and looking at the overall ratings, the looks like the ratings. I'll start with the ratings low because it's actually kind of interesting how it turned out, because it's actually a tie. The ratings low that Sonic Boom had gotten was 607,000 adult views, and that was for the premieres of Cabin Fever and No Robots Allowed. However, the ratings high, which is probably the most impressive thing of all about the ratings, and something that I really was impressed by when I initially read these ratings when it first came about. And it was interesting because this wasn't even a premiere. This was a rerun that followed a premiere. It was the rerun that followed Closed Door Policy's premiere on July 17th. And it got 1,521,000 views from adults.
Nice.
So, for such a huge difference, I think it's a definite sign that the ratings for the show are interesting right now, and I'm curious on what would have happened if there were some more promotion by Cartoon Network in the latter half. But even then, to see this show was able to get 1.5 million, nearly 1.6 million, that's really damn impressive.
Certainly is.
Especially for the kids' cartoon shows Cartoon Network or channels like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and all of them, to get 1.6 million views is actually really impressive.
So good news, Bill. Donnie says you're a success.
Oh, very good.
You did good.
You did very good. That's one thing that we've sort of seen about the series, is that it's been enjoyable throughout, and there's always been something new. So it's been a long run as well for one season. I mean, we've had the various hiatuses.
Right. It's a weird thing because we knew that it was going to be 50 to 11 minutes, but early on, I know when I had my initial contact, it was always referred to as 26 half hours. So it has that weird quality that it was able to last a lot longer by only airing one at a time. But and they're all freestanding episodes, as you know, so they can mix and match them any way they wanted. But we always we always looked at it as or we started looking at it as 26 half hours, and then it quickly became 52 individual episodes.
If you'd have had the opportunity, would you have had a longer running time per episode, or even a shorter running time per episode? I mean, it was how did that work with the writers and generally and the plotting and things?
Well, the show is what it is. It's 11-minute freestanding episodes. From my point of view, not from any creative point of view, but from a story is a story. So if it was 26 half hours, I only need to think of 26 stories. If it's 52 11 minutes, I need to think of twice as many stories. I need to break twice as many stories, which isn't a complaint, but it's a different thing. And coming up with a story for this kind of thing is very often the hardest part. What's a new, original, fun story that's going to be interesting to our audience? And having to think of 26 is easier than having to think of 52. But, just from a practical standpoint. Other than that, I like this format. I enjoy being able to do a funny little thing and then move on. I know there's always been a lot of confusion because sometimes, people tend to be a little literal-minded, thinking that the show just resets and everything's erased. And that's not true. It's a typical comedy format where you bring everyone back around, but that doesn't mean what happened this week will never be mentioned again. We bring characters back. We refer to things. It's just if Eggman's lair gets blown up, it's fixed in the next episode. That kind of stuff, comedic stuff, gets reset. Jokey stuff gets reset.
I think there was been a lot of confusion about that, and I think all three of us would put our hands up and go, we've been as confused as everyone else. I don't know who. Somebody said something, and said that it was like reset every time. I've no idea who it was.
Right.
It could frankly, it could have been anybody.
Right. No, but I think what they meant by reset means that comedic version of reset. When you watch a sitcom, you come back to the status quo. Now, that doesn't mean if a character on Friends meets a guy, if Rachel meets a guy, and then maybe 3 episodes down or 5 episodes down, the writer said, hey, that guy was funny in the show, let's bring him back. It's not like they meet again for the first time. I mean, it's a very literal-minded approach that everything resets always. It would be very hard to do a show that way because the characters, they literally, they discover Medburger for the first time every time they go to eat there. And that you've never seen a show like that. I don't know why people got caught up in the literalness of the thing resetting versus the general feeling of it resetting because it's a comedy.
So basically, in terms of like quote unquote resetting, it's not necessarily resetting, but more like the show when you see an episode beginning, it's usually the same relationships each time. Like everyone's still, their usual selves at each other, and all the buildings are in one piece, and everything's normal. And then the episode happens, and then things go back to normal after that.
Kind of. But again, relationships grow, but not the way they do if you're telling a dramatic story arc. They grow the way they do in comedies. Like Dave the Intern's character and his relationship to the other characters has grown over the course of all the episodes. But when Medburger gets blown up, it's back to normal the following week because that's not important in the world. The relationships are important, and the certain elements, of remembering something or bringing in Soar the Eagle and knowing that he's always the newscaster, or that he also has a background as a motivational speaker and a therapist. That doesn't go away at the end of the episode. His personality and growth to his personality remains. It's the unimportant stuff, or at least the unimportant stuff to me. I guess if your main concern is making a wiki, everything is important. Nothing has greater value than anything else. But from a storytelling point of view and a television point of view, the character relationships and what they learn about each other is much more important than whether Eggman's lair gets destroyed 4 times and then is just back and no mention is made of it.
It's kind of like how, say, in SpongeBob, you'd see frequently the Krusty Krab get blown up or destroyed, and then in the next episode it's in one piece, but everyone still remembers that happened. Basically,
right? Yes.
So
it's exactly
like, so there are no consequences at the end of the episode, but people may well recall. That's the deal.
I wouldn't even say that, because I think there are some consequences. It's not that there are no consequences, because if there are no consequences, you don't care. When I was on Drawn Together, the characters would get killed every week, and then they'd just be back next week, because that was part of the joke. I think in our case, there are certain kinds of consequences, but not other kinds of consequences. Again, character stuff has more consequence than the physicality of the world.
I think actually that's been one of the joys of Boom, was to see how organically the background characters, if you like, have really come in and developed the roles as to being, somebody like Dave, obviously, who we just thought was just going to be a character at the beginning, and then has redeveloped into, we know his whole backstory about how he really wants to be a villain, and he's trying very, very hard, perhaps too hard, and everything that goes along with him, and now he's sort of settled into a role as a sort of up and coming villain in training, if you like. But is still seen as a rival in some ways, in some cases petty ways, as we saw with the chili dog competition. So so characters like that who have just sort of been introduced and grown has been a really nice part of the series.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of what I'm talking about. We could have very, very easily just made Dave. We did the episode of Double Doomsday, and then, in order for Double Doomsday the way we broke the story was, well, he's the guy who works at the fast food place, and but he really wants to be a villain, so he tries to impress Eggman. He gets hired as the intern. But now we have a guy who works at Mad Burger, and we have a guy who wants to be a villain. At the end of the episode, we could have just made him the Mad Burger employee again, or he could have just disappeared. But instead, we kind of, run with that stuff and say, well, it's funny that this, and then all the jokes that come out of that, where he's evil because he works in a fast food place, Yeah. So that's the stuff where I'm always amazed that people, because someone somewhere in some interview said it resets, people can't wrap their mind around the fact that the characters do evolve and grow. And also when we find something we like we had Soar the Eagle doing that, motivational speaking, but we liked the way he looked, we liked his voice, and we needed a newscaster. And we said, maybe he's a guy who's also the field reporter. And it started out that he was going to be the field reporter on the kinds of stories that, were related to being a motivational speaker, or the kind of feel-good stories that kind of guy would do and might get hired for. And then it just turned out he was the local field reporter. We don't really have an anchor team at all on the show yet. It's always a field report.
We like the idea of the island being so small that he was literally it was him and Combi Chimp as the only stars of television.
It's kind of like that, but it's also, if something else comes up that's interesting, there may be, theoretically, because I don't know what's going to be with the show, but that's the kind of thing where, maybe there is someone else, maybe there is another thing going on, but we didn't know that, at episode 10 or episode 12 or episode 20. But if something did come up, if we had an idea, a newscaster from the other side of the island shows up and they're competitive, that might have been something that that moved Soar the Eagle forward. I mean, Barker is kind of a criminal, but he's a different kind of criminal or a different kind of villain than the other villains. So it made sense for him to be Eggman's lawyer, because unlike Eggman, who wants to just destroy things, Barker is a con man. He's a fast talker.
Are you suggesting lawyers are crooks and con men?
I think the kind of lawyer who would represent Eggman would be a smooth-talking guy who doesn't really care about justice, but cares about how you can manipulate words and con people into your side. So he was a logical choice to be Eggman's lawyer in that particular episode. In general, we won't see him as a lawyer, but he certainly has that skill. And I don't know if we want to discuss the episode we're about to watch, because he brings up certain things that tangentially relate to being a lawyer.
I mean,
because that's his personality.
We'll get on to some of that obviously in the post show, and there's all sorts, obviously, considering just how many characters are in episode 52. Moving along, other things. If you want to know what I got for Christmas, everybody, it was a sing-along CD. It was Now That's What I Call Voice Acting by Mike Pollock, because if you didn't know, the notorious villain Dr. Eggman has performed a Christmas song for you all. It's on SoundCloud. I suggest you go and find it. For some reason, Dr. Eggman's singing about Sonic at Christmas. I don't know why. Maybe the guy's obsessed. I mean, it's not like he's been, going on about him for 25 years or anything like that. But yeah, if you want to hear Mike Pollock perform a full Christmas song as Dr. Eggman, go to SoundCloud, find it via his Twitter. It's a Mike. If I remember correctly, I'll put a little annotation in the bottom of the video, and you can go and find that. Have you heard that yet, Bill?
I have not.
Oh.
I'm surprised we were driving around Boston. He didn't make me listen to it in the car.
Did he not have Boom Shadow on repeat then?
He did not.
No.
Actually, we were listening to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast while we were driving around Boston.
I remember that being one of his, a favourite of his. Oh, okay. So, one other piece of Boom-related news is that a series of alternate logos for the rebranding and for the sub-series of Sonic Boom has been discovered. As is usually the case, an artist has put up all their stuff, and if you would like to have a look at that, there's some very interesting designs, and you can see a very clear evolution of where things went from the initial ideas all the way through to what we obviously currently have now for Sonic Boom. But that's on Sonic Stadium as well. If you are interested in finding out more about the ins and outs of the Sonic Boom ratings, you can find that on TSSZ, or if you're in America, TSSC. And that brings us on to the feedback, or as we're terming it on this week's show, Sonny TH comments on every goddamn thing. So, yeah, I'm just catching up, I guess, on this. Episode 49, pre-show says, golly, you've run out of comments. We haven't anymore. Here's hoping that your old pal Sonic can help you out by giving you more comments unless I'm too late or slow, or who even knows. Oh yes, I remember that gag with Orbot saying a complex word on Cubot, giving him the bare bones version afterwards. Not my favourite running gag of the show, but it's cute. Knuckles is a guy that actually chuckles. Am I doing this right? I guess Knuckles chuckles in Boom. There's a great example of the canons being completely different, and somebody somewhere will be annoyed that Knuckles is chuckling. It's fine. He's allowed to be happy.
Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle except in Sonic 3.
Yeah, Sonic doesn't chuckle. Sonic makes weird noises.
Sonic makes many weird noises.
Yeah, I've still got no idea how Roger even produced all of those from his mouth.
Yeah, Roger's pretty impressive. The entire cast is really good, but sometimes Roger does stuff like that I'm often surprised and delighted by.
Was that actually in the script initially, or was that just something you guys put in? And was that like recorded and then?
It was in the script. It was in the script that he makes noises because he's bored. What he did was what he did.
For episode 49's post show, talks about DB Platypus, who quickly became our least favourite character.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. While I can agree the platypus can be quite irritable at times, I actually did find some of his lines funny, so I can't fully despise him as you guys did. Styx was pretty great, though, and we'd like to see more of her in this as well, as in that type of Styx. Saw would have actually been pretty nice in DB's role. Was that something that was considered initially, perhaps? Saw in DB?
No. No, DB was supposed to be this annoying character because we wanted the gang to turn on him, and Soar has such a big part in the show that we thought it wouldn't have the same effect if he was that guy. It would just it would just be a guy we've seen before. We wanted to bring someone in who was just going to be really annoying to them, to the point where they can't make a move without being annoyed by him. Without him,
it worked.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked that way with Soar. So we created a new character.
That's true. Sonny TH also says, for episode 50, pre-show, I don't like grapes. I've got no idea what this is in relation to. You guys remember what we talked about grapes for?
It's more knuckles.
Oh, I see.
No, I just mean it appears to be related to more knuckles.
Quite possibly. Though I do like grape juice, does that make me a jerk? No, it doesn't make you a jerk, sorry.
No, grape juice is lovely. It's delicious.
Oktoberfest should be called Freiberger Fest, is the suggestion here.
You know, I think 7 or 8 million people go to Oktoberfest a year. I don't know that I really am the standout.
Freiberger Fest sounds like a convention, though.
Yes, well, maybe there will be a Freiberger Fest.
Yeah, everyone comes down and celebrates your work, Bill.
That could be. That could be. There is a Freiberger beer in Germany, and I was hoping when I was at Oktoberfest I'd be able to steal away a little time and go to the Freiberger brewery the way I went to the Sam Adams brewery, but it was too far away from Munich.
Ah, man.
Oh, that stinks.
That's it.
Yeah.
But there's a very bizarre theory about where Reed Harrison is.
Oh, and that would be?
Don't ask. Can I I got something for Christmas. A 4-day early birthday celebration. Oh, congratulations and happy birthday in advance. We're in the past now because of when this is going out. Problems, time travel. This is your fault, Donnie.
What?
We established this before, time travel. Which everyone loved, by the way, that Donnie Who thing that Jamie put in. Everyone loved that.
Oh, that Doctor Who reference.
Yeah. Can I feed Donnie gifts on Steam? Yes. Donnie, would you like stuff on Steam?
Donnie, would you like the stuff shoved into your mouth via Steam?
Like pinball DLC or Undertale merchandise?
What merchandise? How do I get
don't know.
merchandise?
Somebody just wants to buy you loads of stuff, Donnie.
I don't object to this. It's just like, how would I get merchandise on Steam?
Don't look at me.
Magic.
Magic. The magic of Christmas, Donnie.
Magic of your beard, Donnie.
See, I told you, Donnie, you're the favourite. Everyone loves you, Donnie.
Not like the other show.
No. We don't mention that other show. We certainly don't after this week.
Well, I mean, it's the last episode, so I mean...
Peter says to me that I've been watching compilations of Linkara's breakdowns, admit it. This is in relation to me referencing the song I Got a Brand New Combine Harvester. No, I haven't. In fact, I haven't watched anything from Linkara in a very long time. Just through chance. It just so happens that I'm British, so we kind of know that song. It's part of our culture of having songs that are kind of weird.
It's part of our esteemed, globally recognised culture that I've got a Combine Harvester and I'm going to keep.
Basically, all you have to do is go. It's up to most any Brits, and just go. Do you know the Wurzels? And if they don't respond with ooh-ar, or something along those lines, then they're not really British.
If they don't respond in that way, you found them. You found the aliens.
Yes. And Styx will be pleased. For episode 50, Sony says, I like this episode, but I can't really say that this was my top favourite episode. Had great moments. The gang just goof off and act like a bunch of friends that do get along despite their flaws. The Sonic Boom comics are amazing, and I too definitely would recommend that people read them. Amy is a character I can agree is a bit tricky to understand in the show. She does have the most interpretations in the show, but I feel that it's not that hard to understand the character IMO. She looks at the full picture, but she has a superiority complex and can be a bit ditzy on occasion. It might just be me, but I can understand her character to some extent, but I guess that proves that there is a confusion on who Amy is in the show. Well, I don't know, my brain's dead at this point. Donnie is my favourite version of Donnie. What am I reading? Donnie is my favourite version of Donnie, but I sometimes feel like Donnie doesn't always feel like Donnie.
Oh.
Donnie might feel some de-beardination to fully show off his Donniness.
I'm very confused. Can we stop this?
I think
Let's just watch cartoons.
Donnie.
I'm what?
We don't know what's happening anymore, so I'm going to
Get an
scribble
injunction, Donnie.
and we're going to watch cartoons and everything will be much better.
Fine, Donnie. True Metal Sonic says, favourite characters of the season, Eggman, Orbot, and Metal. My favourite episode was the Meteor and the one-armed hedgehog. I would love to see Cream, Vanilla and Big added to the Boom universe. The two rabbits as quite upper-class villagers and the cats are wise expert Fisher. I don't believe that Big is a dumb character. It would be a nice twist if Big was like the smartest one in the Boom universe. Of course, I'd love to see Metal used more or at all. Going on to talk about what we were talking about, guys, with the Secret Rings and Black Knight, the storybook games. I would be so down for a Sonic and the Dracula Curse. Sonic using the Sonic that we've seen in the Halloween design that Japan uses. That'd be a good idea.
Sonic the Vampire, though.
And then you get Amy as Buffy. And then it all goes wrong.
That all goes horribly wrong. There's too much drama in that setup. We need to change it. Shadow is Buffy.
Alex. Shadow would be Faith. Surely. Surely in that scenario. Where are we? Alexa Spirit of Wind says, the long-awaited wait for episode 52 begins. Well, the commentary. It's not that long now, don't worry. But still, it's been fun, and I can't wait for more crazy shenanigans in Season 2. Candy Plays, all the way back on episode 44, applauds Donnie so much for his anger against the villagers and Sonic's friends.
Oh, was that in relation to the...
I think your rant was appreciated, Donnie.
Wait, the rant on the character I'm thinking of right now?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Episode 44. I forget which one that was.
I don't even remember anymore. I've lost track of the episodes at this point.
Oh dear, oh dear. Right.
There's been a lot of episodes this year.
Almost 50 of them.
Almost, if not more.
And of course, the production numbers are different than the air order. So all the numbers I know are completely different. When someone refers to a number, I'm always thinking of the production number.
I mean, we're talking about production, and we're going to get onto the commentary shortly. But since you mentioned that, so when did work on season 1 officially stop? When did that wrap finally?
I could not tell you exactly, but not too long before the last episode aired. We were editing that episode. Maybe it was a month before, but not too much longer than that.
Huh.
So that was November.
A lot of people interested in how these things work, and throughout the year we've been getting sort of a lot of queries about how long these sort of things take, and we'll
Right.
go into them in.
It takes 9 months to a year to make an episode from the first time someone thinks of it until the final print is ready to be aired.
Right. We are almost ready for the commentary, guys. We are out of feedback, but thank you very much for sending that in. If you're listening for your questions, don't worry, that's coming up in the post show when we've obviously watched the episode and we can discuss everything that's going on, because a lot of your questions are a little bit tainted by what's sort of going on around it. So there's one other piece of news from us, from We Free. And that is, you may have noticed that obviously we're coming to the end of the series, so you might be wondering what we're doing next. The Sonic Show is doing a commentary series for Sega Hard Girls, which is already well underway. We're not involved in that, principally because we weren't asked. But don't worry, we've got our own thing going on. Which you will find out about. If you're wondering what all those scissor images were, take a look at this trailer and you'll find out straight afterwards.
And then a trailer plays
Well, yes.
in this slot.
By the
on
power of
this evening.
editing, Cat, of trailer play. But from the four of us for now, we will see you in the commentary. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks very much for Bill for joining us for this part of the video.
My pleasure.
And you can hear more from Bill in the commentary and post show. But for now, guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.